So let's talk about the procedure. The cluster and the server load balancer instance created in this lecture must be in the same region. That's one of the things which we need to take a key note of. Now, coming on to the procedure, let's go step by step. Step number 1 is create a server load balancer instance, and to enable other service to send logs to Logstash, create and configure a server load balancer instance before configuring Logstash. Number 1, log on to the server load balancer console before creating an application. And number 2, create a server load balancer instance whose instance type is internet. Add two listeners for the created server load balancer instance. The front-end and the back-end port mapping of the two listeners are 5000 is to 5000 and 5044 is to 5044 respectively, with no back-end server added, as you can see on the screen. Step number 2 is deploy ELK, which is by logging onto the container service console. Create a cluster named testelk for that we need to keep a note. The cluster and the server load balancer instance created in step 1 must be in the same region, and this is a point which I am highlighting second time. Bind the server load balancer instance created in step 1 to this cluster. On the cluster list page, click Manage at the right of Testelk. Click Load Balancer Settings in the left side navigation pane. Click Bind Server Load Balancer. Select the created server load balancer instance from the server load balancer ID list and then click OK. Deploy ELK by using the following orchestration template. In this example, an application named ELK is already created. For this point, also there is a point to note. We have to replace SLB underscore ID in the orchestration file with the ID of the server load balancer instance created in step 1. And details you can see on the screen. In this orchestration file, the official images are used for Elasticsearch and Kibana with no changes made. Logstash needs a configuration file, so make an image on your own to include the configuration file. The image source codes can be found in demo-logstash. The Logstash configuration file is as follows. This is a simple Logstash configuration. Two input formats, syslogs and filebeats, are provided, and their external ports are 5044 and 5000 respectively. Now configure the Kibana index. Access Kibana. The URL can be found under the Routes tab of the application. On the application list page, click the application name ELK. Then click the Route tab and then click the route address to access Kibana, as you can see on the screen. Now create an index by configuring the settings as per your needs and then click Create. Here's a screenshot which would help. Then we will directly land into step number 3, which is to collect logs. Now in Docker, the standard logs adopt stdout file pointer. The following example first demonstrates how to collect stdout to ELK. If you are using file logs, you can use filebeat directly. WordPress is used for the demonstration. The following is the orchestration template of WordPress. An application WordPress is created in another cluster. Now log on to the container service console. Create a cluster named app. Again, the cluster and the server load balancer instance created in step 1 must be in the same region. Now create the application WordPress by using the following orchestration template. Again, the word of note which I narrated a moment back. Replace slb underscore ib in the orchestration file with the IP address of the server load balancer instance created in step 1. Now here is what in terms of code which you will see. After the application is deployed successfully, click the application name WordPress on the application list page. Click the Route tab and then click the route address to access the WordPress application. On the application list page, click the application name ELK, click the Route tab and then click the route address to access Kibana and view the collected logs. Something as you see on the screen now. Okay, let's move to a new Docker log collection scheme, which is LogPilot. Now, this lecture introduces you a new log collection tool for Docker, LogPilot. LogPilot is a log collection image we provide for you. You can deploy a LogPilot instance on each machine to collect all the Docker application logs. Docker of Linux version is supported, while Docker of Windows or Mac version is not supported, and this is a point to note. Now, let's quickly cover a few features of LogPilot. So if I number them one by one, number one is a separate log process collects the logs of all the containers on the machine. No need to start a log process for each container. Number 2, LogPilot supports file logs and stdout logs. Docker log driver or log spout can only process stdout, while LogPilot supports collecting the stdout logs and the file logs. Declarative configurations. When your container has logs to collect, LogPilot will automatically collect logs of the new container if the path of the log file to be collected is declared by using the label. No other configuration needs to be changed. And finally, LogPilot supports multiple log storage methods and can deliver the logs to the correct location for powerful Alibaba Cloud Log Service, popular Elasticsearch combination, or even Graylog. Open source. LogPilot is fully open source. You can download the codes from LogPilot and GitHub project. If the current features cannot meet your requirement, welcome to raise an issue. Okay, let's get started on it. See a simple scenario as follows. Start a LogPilot and then start a Tomcat container, letting LogPilot collect Tomcat logs. For simplicity, here Alibaba Cloud Log Service or ELK is not involved. To run locally, you only need a machine that runs Docker. First, start LogPilot. Now, when a LogPilot is started in this way, all the collected logs will be directly output to the console because no log storage is configured for backend use. Therefore, this method is mainly for debugging. Now, open the terminal and enter the following commands as you see on the screen. You will see the startup logs of LogPilot, as you can see on the screen. Do not close the terminal. Open a new terminal to start Tomcat. The Tomcat image is among the few Docker images that use stdout and file logs at the same time and is suitable for the demonstration here, as you can see on the screen. Okay, a couple of points which we need to note is alien.logs.catalina is equal to stdout tells LogPilot that this container wants to collect stdout logs. Alien.logs access is equal to user /local /tomcat /logs /local host access. Log text indicates to collect all log files whose names, comply with the localhost access log format under the user local Tomcat logs directory in the container. The label usage will be introduced in details later. The another point to note is if you deploy Tomcat locally instead of the Alibaba Cloud Container Service, specify vuser local Tomcat logs. Otherwise, Logpilot cannot read log files. Container Service has implemented the optimization and you do not need to specify V on your own. Okay, now Logpilot will monitor the events in the Docker container. When it finds any container with alien.logs xxx, it will automatically parse the container configuration and start to collect the corresponding logs. After you start Tomcat, you will find many contents are output immediately by the Logpilot terminal, including the stdout logs output at the Tomcat startup and some debugging information output by Logpilot itself, as you can see on the screen now. You can access the deployed Tomcat in the browser and find that similar records are displayed on the Logpilot terminal every time you refresh the browser. The contents after message are the logs collected from user /local Tomcat logs localhost access log xxx.txt. Okay guys, so with this I'm taking a pause here, and in the next lecture we would be talking about some best practices to use Elasticsearch plus Kibana. Till then, thank you very much.